Our family business started with my grandfather and his brother-in-law, and it was called Graves Machine Shop in 1934. And then my dad came into the business in '48. That's when we started getting into the equipment and became a Massey dealer. We've taken on more and more equipment lines since then. We became a Carrero tractor dealer in '91, which has turned out to be our major line. The orchardists and farmers that we're dealing with now, many of are sons of the fathers that I did business with and are really leading sustainability in the orchard by adopting new growing techniques, certainly new equipment.
We've been growing fruit here in the family business for almost 100 years now.
You're always trying to create a competitive advantage in a way, so you're always trying to learn new techniques and new ways of doing things.
Gone through a lot of ups and downs, obviously, and we're in a real down right now, trying to figure out ways to save money.
In the business world that we're in now, margins are much smaller. You have to be innovative to survive.
So there's many ways now that orchardists are trying to expose the fruit to light to get them to color. The more color that you get on an apple, the more that it's worth, the higher value it is, the more appealing it is to consumers.
The more sunlight to the fruit, the faster they are going to ripen, the more color they're going to get, the better the results.
In some varieties, we come behind and actually strip the leaves off the trees around the apples. It's very time consuming. Takes us about 14 guys to do an acre in a day.
Traditionally, we put down mylar in our orchard rows to try to reflect the sunlight back up into the tree and color the apples.
The light hits the foil and reflects it up under the tree and colors the side of the apple that doesn't ever see the sun. We spend $150 an acre on the mylar, $50 to put it down and $100 to pick it up, and then we have to haul it to the landfill, and it's very costly, and a lot of man hours go into it. In this last winter, my cousin Macker and I saw this video on YouTube of a leaf stripper, an Olmi leaf stripper. We talked about it all winter and how it would be interesting to try it. We contacted Greg Hamilton up at Washington Tractor and asked him if he could bring one in from Italy so we could try it.
Worked with Olmi, and they were willing, if we would buy one, to send one here on consignment. And if we ended up not liking them at all we had to do was pay the freight to send that other one back.
We like to try new technology around here, and so our operators are pretty used to trying new things. But this one was, I think, was a pretty easy setup. It just hooks to our Carreros that we were using anyway. It's worked great because of the high RPMs needed for the Olmi. There's a balance between blowing everything off the tree and just blowing the right stuff off the tree.
The adjustments of the machine is where you really benefit, because you can move in and out and not damage fruit, not pulling off limbs. You can get your heads right up close to them and you can blow off a lot of leaves. You have your up and down, you have horizontal, you have tilt, and you have individual adjustments for each head, which gives you pitch out and in. A lot of this around here, you have V-trellis mixed in with high density. With 2 toggles, you're ready to go without getting off the tractor. The ability to go from one orchard to the next with one implement makes all the difference in the world.
The machines have been out for 3 weeks now. We're really impressed with the early results.
We've been using it now for 2 weeks, and it's working really well. Right now, as near as I can tell, we're doing about an acre an hour with one guy. The color has changed so much, you would think that we already put the mylar down. We're actually hopeful that we may not need mylar in the future. We'll have the machine paid off by the end of next week, so after about the 3rd week, it's already almost paid for itself. We'll definitely be adding a few more machines next year.
So a month into it, we're already trying things that you couldn't think about before with the high cost of labor. First of all, we wouldn't go out in an orchard unless it was a high value crop to pick the leaves. But now we're going out into many, many acres, and we're doing it 24 hours a day with multiple shifts, running this Olmi machine day and night. We can just go full speed and we're getting through tons of acres here.
This industry is changing so fast. Communication between the manufacturers and suppliers and growers is actually really great, the way guys work together and try to figure out new ways to do things that are cheaper to keep us all in business. I mean, ultimately, we all want to stay in business, so how can we do things cheaper to achieve that goal?
We're glad we listened to them. We're glad that they trusted us enough to come to us rather than someone else to bring the product in, and we think it's a home run.